got another video for you. This is how to tune a tom. I've noticed I've got quite a lot of comments recently asking me to do a video about tuning for, you know, everything from snare, kick drum, tom. Each kind of drum requires a different technique, to be honest, and a different sort of sound that you're going for. And I've put off making a video like this for quite a while because, you know, I've been thinking, I should really go and do it in a studio and get it mic'd up and, you know, do a nice job. But to be honest, that was just my own excuse for putting it off. So I thought, why not just shoot something now and show you guys, at least get you started on some of my thoughts on tuning. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really good at tuning drums, so you think, well, why make a video about it? Well, it's because I can tune them, and I can show you quite a bit about how to do it, but I have got some work to do on developing my ear more to hear the pitch more accurate between the lugs, which I'll explain in a minute. But at a push, I can make a drum sound pretty good, but some of the guys I know can do a better job. But hey ho, they don't make videos and I do, so you stuck with me. Right, what I was doing there was taking the bottom head off this tom. This is an 8-inch DW tom. Look at it, it's lovely. Love this kit. So this is yeah, DW Collector Series. It's a maple kit. Finish is black oyster glass. Nice. And it's an 8-inch tom. So this is designed to sound, you know, fairly high pitched. You guys are kind of Rush fans, you know. Goes for that high sort of piccolo tom sound. I'm a big Incubus fan, so Jose Pasillas from Incubus uses a kind of high tom a lot, sort of fast little flurry fills. I love this thing, it's great. So we'll start with this because to be honest it's fairly easy to tune and it's probably going to convey quite well on camera because I don't have a mic or anything, just a camera. So heads, I'm using Evans EC2. Hi Dan, you're going to sneeze. Blowing his nose off camera. Come and say hi. Come in the shot, so to speak. Come in the shot. Is that a new porn term? Steady on. Sit down for a second, bro. Hi. Hi. Sorry. Hi. You totally interrupted my video.
I had to evacuate my nostrils.
Evacuate your nostrils. Can you tune drums?
No.
Get out the fucking video then.
Oh.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm fucking off.
Sorry then. See you in a minute. Alrighty, anyway, back to the video. So, drum heads that I use is Evans EC2s. I've just made a video called What Drum Heads Do I Use? So go check that out on my channel. But yeah, Evans EC2s, this is an EC resonant. So I use this on the underside, which is the resonant head on the tom. So I always go by the logo, DW's that way, so that's the bottom. We'll start with the resonant head. So the idea is that you put your hoop around the drum and line it up with the lugs and you get it to what's called finger tight. So you don't crank it with the drum key just yet, sort of line them up. I just get the lugs lined up there and just start turning them so that you kind of get lined up, like so, and then you literally just, with your fingers, just twist them so that they're tight. Alright, I'm going to fast forward this bit because it's a waste of time, isn't it? See you in a sec. Yeah, so you might just notice there I'm using a drum key to tighten this up because, you know, although I said finger tight, what I mean is you don't crank it. So I'm just getting it until it's just making contact, which is the same as finger tight. It's just a lot quicker to do it when you're not tightening with your fingers. I got this wicked drum key, by the way, check it out. This is from Gibraltar. Oh, Christ. Start that again. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so here's the drum key. The idea is that it turns like that. So you can hold on to this and not have to keep like twisting a drum key like that. You can just turn the whole thing and it makes a really nice ear-piercing sound. So that's what I'm using on this. I'm just getting it so it's close to finger tight. Like that. So the idea of tuning a drum is that you tighten the lugs evenly and in a sequence that goes across the drum. So the opposite of that, i.e. the wrong thing to do, would be to just have all the lugs loose, take one lug and just crank it with a drum key and then move around in a circle, because you're trying to distribute the tension across the head evenly. So that's why you start at finger tight, and there's going to be no tone out of the drum at all, as you can hear. It's just going to be dead. Nice. It's kind of cool actually. Put that with a load of echo and reverb on there and that'd be cool. But yeah, so you start really loose and you just slowly increase the tension going across the drum. So if you look at the drum here, I'm going to start here and then you're going to go there. So 1, 2, and then you go next, you go 3 and 4, and you go next is 5 and 6. Doesn't matter what order you do it in, but the idea is that you work across the drum to keep the tension even across the whole head. So, general rule of thumb is that you tend to have the bottom head, or the resonant head, a little bit higher than the top head. That's kind of how I go for it anyway. There's lots of different ways of tuning it. Like, you can tune them really high and have you can tune them both the same, and that'll give you the most amount of resonance. So you've got to imagine that when you hit the top head, it vibrates, it sends air down, which hits the bottom head and vibrates. So if they're in perfect tune with each other, you get the most resonance, because they'll be vibrating in harmony. But that's not actually what I go for in the sound. That's not really your kind of classic rock sound. That's more of a jazz sound where you're getting a lot of resonance out of the tom. Anyway, I'll explain what I'm doing before I carry on rambling. But the idea is that you tune the bottom head slightly different to the top head, either higher or lower, depending on what kind of effect you're going for. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going around the lugs and just adding a little bit. I mean, I'm talking like if it's here, I'm just adding that much, maybe an 1/8 of a turn as you go on each of the lugs, like that. And what you do is you can either lift it up and hit it with a drum, hit it with a tray with a stick. Obviously it's still very dead. Or you can tap with your finger around to kind of get an idea of the pitch. I mean, because this is dead right now, there's no point in trying to listen for pitch, but let's carry on going round. This is such a DIY video. Apologies if this is a bit crap, but I just wanted to get something out just to try and get you guys rolling. Okay. So I've applied another 1/8 of a turn, and you can see that you're getting a bit of tone starting to come through here. So you can just tap it lightly with a drum key. That's all pretty even actually. So you're getting this. That's not bad, it's getting there. You've got different ranges in a drum that you can tune to. So there's, on a good drum, i.e. a good shell with a decent bearing edge and a good skin, you've probably got 2, maybe 3 nice, solid, clean notes that you can get out of a drum. I find normally you get, on a tom like this, you get a couple of nice notes that you can go for. I don't know what those notes are, but you just kind of go for something that sounds consistent. What you don't want to get is that boing kind of sound where you hit the drum, and because the head isn't tuned evenly, you've got sort of dissonant frequencies happening where you hit it and it goes boing, and you can hear these kind of bad overtones around the drum. So that's getting there. I think we might put a bit more tension on there because this is designed to be a high tom, so I want to get it to sit a little bit higher than its lowest note that you can get out of it. So this is a fraction of a turn, by the way, like a 1/16 of a turn or something. So that goes around there. See how it's sounding. There's a little bit of wow to the note. You can hear that. So you can start to isolate which lug it is that needs tuning. So I tend to just put my finger really gently on the middle of the head there and just tap it with a stick. So can you hear on there that this lug is much lower than this lug? Let's go around again. So all the other lugs are about this kind of pitch, but this one is a lot lower. So I'm just going to bring it up a little bit and see what we've got. If you've got one lug that's lower, you can bring up that lug or the opposite lug because it kind of stretches in a line across the drum head. So I tend to try and split it over both. Just a little bit of a tune on both sides of what you're trying to change. That's probably a good starting point, to be honest. It sounds pretty even. So let's flip it over. As I said, this is a pretty quick video. Just want to get something out and show you guys kind of the basic principles. To be honest, it's just a practice thing. The more you change heads, the better you get. It's definitely not something that I've mastered, but I'm working on it. Alright, so I've put the batter head on now. This is an Evans EC2. It's the batter head version of what they do. So I'm going to get these up finger tight with the drum key, blast around it, and then we'll tune this up. So see you in a sec. Alright, those are good to go. And that's a little tip, if you've tightened it up with the drum key to get it to finger tight, you can actually just, once it's made contact, you can just loosen it off a little bit and then bring it back to tight with your finger, so you know you've got the same starting point. So that's finger tight, head's completely dead as you'd expect, and it's exactly the same process. You just start with the lug close to you, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tune across the drum just like before. I'm just going to start with a little eighth of a turn. So just in case you didn't catch it at the beginning of the video, this is how much we're talking. So we start here. Oh look, there's you. And then you go like that much, literally just to start. And then on here, same deal. Start there. Now I could feel, you get a feel for how tense the lug is, and I could tell it was a little bit loose in the other one, so I gave it a little bit extra. To be honest, there's no like exact science to tuning a drum. It's a feel thing, it's an ear thing. I'm just giving you the basic technique of starting finger tight, going around in the right sequence around the drum, using small turns, matching it as you go around, and then just hitting it and getting an idea of whether the pitch is even or wobbly, and getting it to where you want the drum to sound. So, I've lost track of what I tuned there. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, so I'm just putting a little bit of tension around the drum as we go. See what we've got. Still obviously very dead. So, that shows you need to come up a bit more. Let's bring it up, again in sequence. Just a little eighth of a turn as we go around. So you can tell that one was a bit looser. I could just feel that, so I've given that a bit more juice. There we go. Still dead, needs to come up. Now, I was just about to hit that, and I can see something that I wanted to pass on as a bit of a tip. As I'm looking at the drum in this angle, I can see there's a wrinkle over the Evans head, so I know that it's already too loose to play. See if I can get this in the light for you guys to see. So there, can you see that? Around the Evans head, it's still crinkled, which means that you're going to need to put some more tension around that. So there's two lugs on either side of it here, so I'll give those a little bit extra there, just iron that out. You also want to pull it from the other side of the drum, so these two lugs here. Okay, that's starting to iron out. So you can hear that's got a really short note, meaning it's not resonating properly, and the note's dying off, it's going row, row, so to speak. So that needs to sound better, basically. So let's tighten that up. And what happens is, as you tighten the drum, you can start to hear, just by you kind of clattering to the drum with your drum key, it gives the drum a bit of resonance. And as you tune up, you can just hear when a note starts to form. It's a pretty good idea of when you're getting close to something resonant. It's getting closer. So what we're going to do now, to fine tune it, you put one finger just gently, you don't want to push down on the drum because you'll affect the tuning too much, but you're just trying to kill a bit of resonance. Put your finger gently in the middle of the drum and just tap around the lugs with the drum key. Don't hit on the bearing edge, whatever you do. So like, I'll just show you. Don't hit here right on the edge with your key, because you'll dent the bearing edge. That's a tip from Dave Werkel. Alright, so don't know how easy that is for you guys to hear, but I can hear there's a couple of lugs that just need to come up a little bit. This one and this one. I'm just doing that with the sticks, it might be easy for you guys to hear. So this one back here, a little bit low, so let's bring that up a touch, and just a bit on the other side as well. See what we've got. Great starting point. I mean, you could fine tune that from there. You could try raising or lowering the bottom head if you want a different tone. Again, that will just affect basically the resonant head is the note of the drum, the sustain, and the top of the head does contribute towards the note, but it mainly contributes towards the feel and the attack. So you need the top head in tune to obviously give the drum some resonance. But what will give you the actual note and characteristic of the drum sound will be the bottom head. I'm just going to hit this a bit close to the camera in case the camera mic's not sorting you out. So we've got kind of this sort of sound. So top head. Let me dampen the bottom head actually so you can hear how the top head's tuned. Fairly high. But what you can hear is the sustaining note. It's pretty even. And the bottom head. So I've just dampened the top head now in my hand. I could probably give that a bit more work, but for the sake of a quick video we'll leave it. So you can hear the top head and bottom head are tuned quite differently. The bottom head, the resonant head, is tuned quite a bit higher than the top head because I want the note to be quite a high, attacky sound to this 8-inch tom, but I don't want it totally cranked and sounding like a jazz tom, so I've got the top head a bit lower. Other things you could do to this would be add a bit of moon gel. If you want to add moon gel, I'd suggest just put it right on the edge here. You can even have it overlapping over the rim as well. But I'll do another video on how to actually get a really nice snare sound and tom sound. I'll bring the dampen into that as well. So anyway, quick video, hope that helps. That's how to tune a tom. This is an 8-inch DW. I'm using Evans EC2s, the resonant head on the bottom and obviously the batter head on the top. No dampening, just a quick tune. Hope that came out alright. If you've got any other questions about tuning, I'm going to do a video on snare, kick and floor tom over the coming weeks. I'm not sure when, but I'll get something done and post any questions you've got about anything and I will make a video for you. Thanks for the support guys, take it easy, have a good one.